In this video, I'm going to give you an unboxing, a setup and an initial review of the Amcrest 1048 and the Annke NC400 colour night vision PoE outdoor cameras. Make sure you stick around, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button below and keep an eye out for more videos. Hi, I'm Will from Surridge Tech, and today we're going to be having a look at these two cameras. They are both colour night vision PoE outdoor cameras. One's from Amcrest, one's from Annke. The Annke one is the NC400. The Amcrest one is the 1048, 4 megapixel. They're both 4 megapixel. So we're going to unbox them, we're going to set them up, and we're going to try them out and compare them, having a look at the features. So let's get going. Now, as you can see, this camera is already unboxed. That's because I got this camera last summer and I had planned to make a video of it comparing it to an alternative camera, but that alternative camera was cheap and just didn't work at all out of the box, and I wasn't able to get a response. It didn't work. So instead we're going to be comparing it with this one, which is an Annke NC400, which I was given for free by Annke. So both these cameras I was given for free, but all the thoughts in this are my own. And although I have unboxed this a while ago, I haven't been using it, and I can't really remember it, so we'll go through it again, I suppose. So the Amcrest, what have we got? Much bigger box. Got another Ethernet gland, some mounting screws. We've got a mounting template, that is useful. Some notices, some flyers, warranty information, and a quick start guide. Then we've got a little Torx key, which I'm guessing is to tighten and loosen something. We'll find out in a minute. And we've got the camera itself. So this camera has a very good feel to it. It's all metal, nicely built. Yeah, I'm very impressed with that. So, the Annke NC400. Nice box. In this box we have a drill template, always useful. A surveillance sticker, useful. A manual, crikey. A gland for your Ethernet cable, some mounting hardware, and of course the camera itself. This is a turret camera. Ooh, came with some silica gel. Turret camera, all metal casing, a nice screw lock situation, so you unscrew that to move it around. Crikey, you can't move it around. And then when you tighten that bit, it stops moving. Very nice. Very weighty. It looks good. It's not that long, which is nice. You don't want one that sticks out too far. In fact, doesn't stick out a huge, that's probably the wrong way around, a huge amount further than the turret camera. Does this bullet camera. On here we have obviously the power cable with an Ethernet port and a separate power port with a little plastic thing to stop it getting watery, I guess. So that's DC and Ethernet, 12 volt DC, which is surprisingly enough actually exactly the same as the Amcrest. So yeah, that's all there is to this, really. There is nothing else. On the front we have a nice big lens and we have what appears to be a floodlight. On the Amcrest camera, we have the same cable with a 12 volt jack or a PoE jack. We've got the camera itself, which kind of spins around in this casing. We've got a little Torx screw where we can undo the mounting bracket to mount it more easily. And actually on the back of the camera there is a reset button and an SD card slot under a screwed down cover. So that's nice. Nice that it's got local recording. I don't believe this Amcrest does have local recording. If you're looking for local recording, then yeah, it doesn't have it. And then obviously on the front we've got the lens, what appears to be a microphone, and two floodlights, spotlight things. So the features of these cameras. Well, they both have motion detection, obviously. They both have color night vision, as is in their name. They both allow for remote viewing. They both have one-way audio, not two-way, interestingly enough. They're both 4 megapixel cameras. They both support RTSP and ONVIF, and they both have either PoE or DC as their power supply. As for the different features, the Amcrest costs $210, whereas the Annke only costs $130. So there's a bit of a price difference there for a very similar camera. The Amcrest does have a slightly wider viewing angle, and it has some smart features built in. These features are stuff like facial detection, or tripwires, or parking and littering detection, that kind of thing. And the Amcrest does support an SD card, which the Annke doesn't. Now, both of these cameras are really designed to be set up and used in a desktop environment, or using your NVR or something like that. And as such, the apps for both the cameras aren't exactly brilliant. They both work, they both have a lot of functionality built in terms of the settings you can change. In fact, you can pretty much do anything in them. But they're not particularly pretty or easy to use or navigate. I imagine once you've got your camera set up, which you'll do in the web interface, you then will only really use the app for notifications or for the odd viewing. You won't need to change the settings in there. And that's kind of the way it's designed to work. Interestingly, the Annke web interface doesn't actually allow the video to pop up when you're using Chrome. This is a bug that they apparently know about and are due to fix. But to get around this, you've got to download their app called Guarding Vision, which is just a little kind of desktop client to look at the camera feed and to change the settings through that. Of course, both cameras can be set up through Home Assistant and can integrate through Home Assistant. The Amcrest through the Amcrest integration, and the Annke through the ONVIF integration. Both of these integrations, of course, open up a sensor for motion detection, amongst some other sensors which you can get in some cases. Now, I've had these cameras for a little while, and I thought I'd share my thoughts on them. Now, they are both very good cameras. They both have a lot of customizability and a lot of setup that can go into them, and as such, they're really powerful. You know, being able to change all sorts of color settings, etc., is great. That being said, if you want a camera that just works out of the box with an easy GUI and it does what it says on the tin, then you probably don't want one of these. You probably want to head over to Reolink and get a more basic camera. But if you're looking for something more advanced, potentially with some of these advanced features, such as the smart features on the Amcrest or the color night vision on both of them, then they're great cameras. I can't complain. The additional smart features on the Amcrest camera are cool. They're really cool, they're really clever, but they don't really have much use in a domestic environment. These smart features include a heat map of the flow of people, or parking detection, or left object detection, or tripwires, to get various different custom notifications through, but as I said, it's not really useful in a home. And as such, I couldn't really play around with them or test them out properly, unfortunately. The colour night vision is where the Annke really shone though, if you'll pardon the pun. Unfortunately, the Amcrest version of colour night vision is quite similar to EasyViz's, where it basically turns a light on and then it's no longer dark, so it's daytime vision, kind of. It does have a very basic colour night vision, but actually I found that you can't really see much more than just black and white. Or the normal night vision, so it doesn't really provide any benefit, for me at least. Whereas the Annke really outperformed when it comes to colour night vision in low light conditions. It was remarkable, actually, how much detail it could pick out. The Annke does also have a spotlight on top, if you don't mind having that. Unfortunately, on neither camera could I find a setting where you could have the spotlight to only come on when motion has been detected. That is a feature in the EasyViz camera, and that would have been nice to see, because personally I don't really want a spotlight on all the time, but there may be scenarios if your camera is pointing at a garage or something where you might want the spotlight to come on as kind of a security light as well if motion is detected. But unfortunately you can't do that. It's also unfortunate that the Annke doesn't have an SD card slot, but are you really going to complain about that? If you have an NVR, how often do people actually use the SD cards as well? I don't know, personally. Up to you, I suppose. If that is important, then great. In my opinion, if you want the smart features for some reason, probably because you're in a business environment as opposed to a domestic one, and you don't mind the spotlight, again, you probably wouldn't if you're in a business environment, then the Amcrest is a great camera. However, if you're okay missing out on the SD card slot and you want a severely superior colour night vision experience, then I would definitely go for the Annke. If you want to get hands on either of these, then I've left links below as to where you can. So there we go. The Amcrest 1048 and the Annke NC400 outdoor PoE colour night vision cameras. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below and click the bell icon to find out more about my smart tech and how you can build yourself the ultimate smart home.